Welcome to the second part of my rigging tutorial. I'm going to be rigging upper body parts and the neck. First, we'll start with the neck. We'll create a neck drawing. I will connect the upper body peg to the neck. The neck drawing should be connected to the main composite of the rig. Connect it to the right side of the composite so that the head overlaps the neck. I'm gonna create a backdrop for the whole head part of the rig, so then later you can manage the separate body parts better. See how easy it is to drag the whole head part of the rig now? Okay, I'm gonna trace the neck part. The stuff that I got from the library has some color palettes too, so I'm gonna delete them later. They're not gonna affect our rig, as long as you don't use the color from those palettes. I'm gonna be using the snap tools to create a symmetrical neck drawing. Okay, the neck drawing is done. Now I'm gonna use the 2-point constraints to connect the head with the neck. Again, we need 2 peg points at the top and the bottom of the neck. If you don't want to spend too much time connecting the pegs that are super far away, you can just drag the parent peg near the pegs that you want to connect. And this time, I will also use a transform limit node so that it doesn't have the squash and stretch effect anymore. I'm going to put the scale X to 0 so it doesn't squash. Reposition one peg's pivot point to the bottom and the other at the top. Remember to set the x-axis to 0 because it's for a symmetrical drawing. That is at the middle of the grid. Now I'm gonna rename the pegs. One I rename as a hold and the other as a constraint because it will move with the head. Always remember to increase the exposure of the drawings to test your animation. I'm gonna connect the head peg to the upper neck peg. Now, when I move the head controller, the upper part of the neck will move with the head. Okay, so far everything looks just fine. Rotation is good. Okay. I'm gonna create a backdrop for the whole neck constraint thing. Now I will draw the upper body part. I'm gonna be tracing this part. There are so many composite nodes. It will randomly be connected to one, but as soon as you got many layers on that composite layer, it will automatically be connected to that layer. Again, I'm gonna trace one side and copy paste it to the other. I just like my stuff to be symmetrical, you know? Because when you flip that layer to the negative scale, it will stay the same. Because the two sides are identical. Because it's symmetrical. You get what I mean? Okay, so now I'm gonna create an invisible line. Because I don't want that part to have a line. So, yeah. Set the thickness to 0 and we're done. Now I'm gonna create the shoulder drawing. It'll be easier to make the shoulders separate from the body because you will need it for other turns, body turns. So we got our shoulder drawing now. Let's get to the deformation part. I will use the weighted deform node and peg layers, which will act as the deformation points. Some of these pegs will be connected to the upper body layer, and some will be connected to the waist layer. I'm going to do the upper body part first. I think the upper body peg should be around there. I will create some more pegs to hold the torso in place. I will have 2 pegs around the armpits and 2 pegs around the chest. I'm gonna rename them so you know which peg is for what. I'm gonna create some more pegs to hold the parts at the end of the shirt or around the waist. I think the middle part needs a peg too, so it will hold in place better. I'm gonna create a waist peg layer. Ah, you see that? Now the hip moves too, and the upper body part bends nicely. The waist peg should be connected to the body peg. Remember, body is different from the upper body part. See what I mean? The upper body peg will bend the upper part of the body, and the body peg will move the waist too. Okay, that doesn't look really good. It looks too sharp and stiff. So I'm gonna change the positions of the peg holders a little bit. When you move the chest pivot points far away, it looks better. Okay, so far it looks better. The hip part bends nicely. Now I'm gonna do the same kind of deformation for the shoulder parts. One point at the top middle. I will use this peg to move the shoulder, and the other will be used to hold the armpit part in place. I'm gonna duplicate the shoulder and the whole part. I'm gonna start rearranging the nose a little bit because it's getting a little bit messy. To make sure that the two sides pivot point is symmetrical, I'm just gonna add a negative in front of the number of the pivot point. I will create a backdrop for the whole upper body part. I'm gonna start making controllers for the upper body, and the waist part. Remember to connect the controllers to a separate composite which will have the visibility node so that they won't render in the render view. I will use the share function script so that the controller will move with the upper body peg. Before I do that, I'm gonna connect it to the master peg. Now, the upper body controller works. I will also create controllers for the two parts of the shoulders. Good! And now the other side. I'm gonna create a controller for the body. You can reconnect nodes, you can reconnect controllers to create an hierarchy, and the pegs will move correctly. Okay, everything's good. Now, the upper body part is complete. In the next part, I'm gonna rig the